This is the explanation for I am a child of God, all 4 verses. I am a child of God. You can point to yourself with your index finger if you want for I, or you can take your whole hand, the fingers together, and kind of like this, from your shoulder to your waist, and point like to your whole self, I. And then child, you pat like a child top of the child's head. And if you do it lots of times or a couple times, it means that there's multiple children. So say, I am a child, just one, of God. And I've seen God done like this. I've seen it done with one hand. And so since we reference God once, then God is always that direction. So if we go like this, then it's possessive, it's his, him, and you can do that when you do sign language, is once you've referenced a certain place for a person, then you reference that again, you're talking about that person. So now we've established that God is right there. God like that. And we never point at God because that's not very reverent. A more formal way is using the whole hand. And he has sent me here. So he, reference him again, has sent. So you can have a fist with your non-dominant hand, usually your left hand. And imagine there's a little bug on there and you just want to send the bug away. So you send the bug with all of your fingers together on your right hand, send. And he has sent me, point to yourself, here. And you have your hands flat and kind of do little circles, little flat circles. You're not going like this. You're just going flat circles here. It's like, here's the land, the area that he sent me to. The next line is, has given me an earthly home. So take both of your hands, kind of squished O's, and you give it from him to you. And since we've already referenced that God is right there, we know that he has given me. And so you don't have to point to yourself again because it's a directional sign. So I can give to you, this person can give to me, I can give to everyone, that kind of thing. So he has given me an earthly home. And I just do the sign for home. So you put your little flat O with all your fingers kind of puckered up, and then you go from here to here. Kind of the side of your chin up to your cheekbone. Home. With parents, kind and dear. So this is the sign for with. You have 2 hands, your thumbs are down, and they're with each other. Kind of like that. So with your parents, I sign mother and father. Now don't go like this because that's like grandma or grandpa. But mother and father, parents, kind. You just take your other 2 flat hands and you just put it kind of flat. It's just so kind. And then dear is kind of a fun one if you want to add that in there. Imagine that you have this really big beard and you just grab your beard and pull it down. Dear. So kind, dear. And they kind of come together in fists. You grab your beard and just, dear. Who knows where that one came from? I'd like to know where that one came from. It's an interesting sign. And okay, so there's that. So here's the chorus. Lead me. This hand, your non-dominant hand, which is usually your left hand, is flat and it's like this, and the right hand leads it. So you grab it with the right hand and you lead it. Lead me. And then the sign for guide is actually 2 fists with the thumbs up and you go like that. But I like to do lead me and then come back with show me. So this is actually show. It's like I'm taking my finger and I'm showing you what's on the palm of my hand, show me. And I like that too because it comes back to me like lead and please show me the way. So if you want to use guide, go ahead and use guide. So I'm telling you that if you think that's better. And then you can, which is perfectly fine if you want to do guide. You can do lead me, guide me. And if I go lead me, guide me. And then the next line is walk beside me. So here's your 2 people and they walk next to each other. You can have them walk wherever you want. I don't know why, but I kind of go like this. You can go walk, walk. But they're right beside each other. So it's lead, show or guide, and walk beside. Help. So you have your left hand flat, your non-dominant hand, and then you have your fist with your thumb up, and it can go here, right here, and you help. Now the sign help is a fun sign because it's a directional sign as well, which means like I wouldn't help God, like God would help me. That's what we're doing. So help me. When you're saying help me, then it needs to come towards you. So help me find. This is an F in sign language. Kind of make a circle right there, and then these 3 fingers are up. And you take your pointer finger and your thumb, and you find something. Find. So help me find the way. These 2 hands are flat, and you're trying to find the way. Now you can make your pathway kind of go wherever. I like to have the pathway go back to Heavenly Father because that's kind of what we're talking about. So, the way. And then, teach me all that I must do. Teach. This is teach. Kind of your flat O's. And I like to do it from Heavenly Father to me. Teach me. Because the things that we're learning are from Him. And so, teach me all. This left hand, the non-dominant hand, doesn't move when you do all. But the right hand goes all the way around it and comes flat on top of it. All. And in the video, I also go like this. Some of the verses. I think on one verse, I skipped that sign. It's not that important to do this sign, but it just means like all the things. So this means all, and this is kind of like spreading out all the things. So all that I, point to yourself, must or need or must do. So you take 2 big C's, they're kind of big C's, and do. The next line is to live with Him someday. So you have 2 thumbs up, your fists, and they go up for live or life. So live with, remember we already taught you with, Him, we're referencing God, someday. This kind of area right here on your dominant side, it's usually your right side if you're right-handed, it's kind of in front of you, it's kind of the future. So you could say forever, but it has to be here in the future. If you go someday, then you're referring to someday in the future. And then back is like the past. So future and past. So that's kind of good to know. Someday. And there's your chorus. Okay, second verse. I, or you can point to yourself for I as well. I am a child of God. And so my needs are great. There's a couple of ways you can do this. You want to do my, possessive my. So you don't point to yourself for my, because that's like I or me. But if you're talking about something that you own, like your needs, then you do your whole palm my. My needs, so remember must, like must do, that I taught you before. So needs, you can do a couple times if you want, you can do one time if you want. And then my needs are great. And you can say this couple, you can go great, like so much. This is kind of like, there's so many of them. Or, and that sign's like in the wrist. And that's kind of a fun sign. Some kids like to do that one. The wrist is kind of, Or you can do, my needs are great. And this is actually kind of means needs as well. More of a, there's so many of them, and it's like a burden. So, so you can actually sign this if you want. There's different ways to do it, depending on like, how simplified you want to get. But you can say, my needs are great. You can sign that as well. Or needs are great because this is like the burden of the need that you have. It's more like trial. My trials are great, kind of a little bit. Something that you carry that's a need. So we have some choices with that one. And then, and don't get, so the word great, don't get it confused with like great wonderful, because I've seen it done like this, but this is like wonderful. It also means Sabbath too, Sunday. But don't do this, because that's the great, like good, and not great like a lot or big. So help me to understand his words. We already know help. You can say help me. So you're coming towards you and you don't have to point to yourself because that would be very redundant. So just help me to understand. Understand is a fun sign because it's like a cartoon once they get an idea and they understand, you know how like a light bulb pops up in their head. So that's what I think about. I'm like, understand. Understand. Take your finger and it pops up right next to your head. Understand? So when I get mad at my children, I'm like, understand? You can say that too. So help me to understand his, remember the palm is facing him, so it's possessive. It's his words. And I do the sign teachings. They're his teachings. If you want to do the sign words, this is a good sign. It means message or something that you're saying. So that would be a good sign too as well. It's kind of a fun one because you're going like that, but you go, it's like a magic sign, like you're doing a magical trick or something. This is also a sign for story. Message or story or words, things that they're saying. Before it grows too late. This is kind of, okay, I'm going to give you a couple options on this one too. Because if you've got a bunch of sunbeams, you know, maybe just one sign, a line is what's right for them. So before, so your left hand doesn't move and your right hand goes before it. So this is actually after, but before. I've also seen it done like this, before, but both ways are before. And thumbs can be up on that one, that's fine. So before or before, and just do it once. Before it grows too late. So the simple way to do it is before, later. This is a sign for later. Before, later, or before, later. Before, later. The sign that I use in my video is a really fun one. It might be kind of hard for a sunbeam to do, but the left hand's flat, and imagine like, okay, your thumb's up and it's like this. Imagine like you're grabbing like a soda pop. Yeah, and it's like right there. But then your fingers move and then you grab it. So it's growing too late. It's like it's becoming too late. You're going to not be able to grasp it anymore. It's going to go away and it's going to... So I like that sign. So if you want to use that sign, this kind of feeling that sign. So before it grows too late. Or you can do before, later. That works too. Okay, next line. Let's go to the third verse because you don't need the chorus again. I am a child of God. Rich blessings are in store. So blessing, that kind of makes sense. Like if you're given a blessing, you talk, like someone speaks and then they put their hands on your head. So that kind of makes sense. Blessing. This one doesn't move, it's just flat. And this one's a pointer finger. And then when it comes down, it turns into a flat hand. So blessings, so you can do that a couple times and that means that it's plural. So blessings, rich blessings are in store. So what I'm signing is just, this one's pretty simple. Blessings are there in the future and they're waiting for me and they're ready. That's kind of what I'm saying because I'm doing like future. Remember this is future, like someday, or tomorrow or whatever. So there's blessings that are in my future. That's what I say. Please don't sign the word store. Like you're going to go shopping or something. Please don't do that. So, I've seen that done too. So, blessings, they're there in the future. They're in store. They're waiting for you because you're going to choose right. Okay. So the next line is, if I but learn to do his will. Okay. If, I've seen if right here under your eye. I've also seen it up here. But it's your pinky. And make sure your thumb's not out. Put your thumb in. So it's just your pinky. So it's an I. This is an I in sign language. So if, or up here, I've seen it both ways. If so you can point to yourself if you want, but you don't have to. I don't remember if I do it or not. But I learn. So it's if I learn. Learn is a fun sign because imagine, so you have your left hand, your non-dominant hand. If you're left-handed, then you would do it opposite. So, and it's flat, and there's something you want to learn that's on your hand. And it's like, okay, I'm going to get it, and I'm going to pick it up with all my fingers, and I'm going to put it in my brain. I'm going to learn. So, if I but learn to do his will. Now, this is do. If you want to put that in, you can do his, then it's like his will. What do you do? So this is what I sign. You can do like what he wants. That's kind of a lot of signs to put in there. So to make it a little more simple and to go with the song, so you're not doing like a bunch of signs really quick when you don't have much time during the song, what I do is if I learn to follow him, that's what I say, to do his will. One of the reasons why I like that too is because it is simple and you can do the signs in the amount of time you have during that song, like during that little part of the song, but you end with his, so it's like his will. So if I learn to do his will, you can, if you want to do, because you want to do a certain like vocabulary word, then that's do his will. You can do that too. But a more, I guess, fluent way to do sign language would be like follow him. So it's totally up to you. I've taught you both ways. Okay, next line. We're on the 4th verse, I think. No, we're not yet. I'll live with him once more. Oh, that's easy. I live with him again. So the only new sign on this one I haven't taught you is again. Again is an awesome sign because you use it a lot when you're first learning how to sign and people are signing to you and then they sign super fast and you don't get it all and you're just like, again. And then they sign it and you're like, again, because you're trying, anyway, to understand all the signs. So again. I will never forget this sign. Used it a lot. So that's what we want to do, is that I will live with him again someday. Or once more. That's right. Someday would be that way. Once more would be again. I am a child of God, 4th verse. Which is fun because it's not in the hymn book, so people don't know that it's there, and they get surprised when they hear it sometimes, if they're not in primary. His promises are sure. So his is possessive, palm faces God, our Heavenly Father. And this is a like a reverent, formal way. His promises, now promises is a little different than blessings. The only difference is this left hand. This is blessing, remember? Like you're blessing someone. But if you have it in a fist, then it's promise. So promise, his promises, you can do a couple if you want to make sure that it's plural. If you do one, that's fine too. Are sure. Okay, I sign will give. And I'll tell you why. So his promises will, and I like that because it's like they are sure. They're sure because they will happen. It's a for sure thing. Your hand's just flat and it's in the future. It's going to happen. It will. And this means in the future. It's like saying like past tense, present tense, future tense. It will. And then you have your, what he promises he's going to give you would, that are going to happen, then you give them like that. So it's really simple. You have your, when it's close to you, the fingers are together and then they go out. So, yeah. So that's what I signed for that one. His promises, they will happen. He will give them to you. They are sure. The sign for sure, like certain, or it can be interpreted like as true. That one's a little bit more simple. If you want to do promise, true, maybe that would be a simple idea. If you have some sunbeams, promise, true, maybe that's all you do. His promise, true. But this is true. So you can play with that if you want. Kind of a more fluent sign would be like his promises, they will give. They will happen. It's going to happen for sure. And then celestial glory, which is, okay, so celestial glory is obviously an LDS sign. So it's kind of fun. So you've got 3. Sorry, I did 4. 3. 1, 2, 3. And this is how you do 3 in sign language. Not this way. Because this is W. It's water. So you want to do 3. And then do a C and put it on your thumb. And then these are the other 2. They always get mixed up. But they both start with T's. And so C is the only one you really need to know anyway. So, because it's the one we're going to go to. Celestial and then glory. You have all of your fingers up, but use your middle finger and glory. I've seen it done with your pointer finger, actually quite often. But it's supposed to be your middle finger. So, celestial glory. And you can do glory here too. I just like to do it over there, I guess. Because that's where I sign like heaven. So it's like celestial glory. It's over there and it's waiting for you. It's going to happen. Shall be mine. You can sign, if you want to simplify it, go celestial glory mine. It's like he's giving it to me. Or celestial glory mine. You can do that if you want to do it more simple. So celestial glory, this is what I sign, which is more of a fluent ASL, a little bit more. Can, 2 S's. Can, you can just do 1, 2, but you can do 2. Can, just one time, I keep doing it over again. Me, enter. I know, right? Like, why would I sign that? But it is a more fluent way of signing that sentence. So I'm giving you the option of doing a little bit more fluent that's different, or doing just some vocab words to help them learn songs. So it's up to you. No pressure. I'm going to sign it fluent again. Celestial glory can I enter. So this is enter, and then you're entering the cave and coming out. It's because can I enter? Like, I can do it. I can enter in that glory and obtain it. So it's up to you which signs you want to use. Can me enter? Then the next line, we're on the last line. It's great. If I can but endure. If, again, I, and then you can do continue. So you got 2 thumbs, and they kind of start close to you, and they're continuing out. Continue to obey. O-B, obey. And that's what I signed for endure. If I, and you can do can if you want. I honestly don't remember if I did can, but if you can add that in there. If I can continue to obey. If I continue to obey. So that's endure. If you want to simplify it for little kids, I know I've got lots of comments like saying, how do I simplify this? So I'm trying to give you an idea to simplify it for the little kids who barely speak English. So now you're teaching them another language. But maybe it's I continue. So glory, mine, continue, or something like that. If you want to do celestial, glory, mine, if continue. Something, I don't know. So I taught you the signs. I hope that helps. If you have any questions for me, make sure to just comment, because I read all of the comments on YouTube. I get emailed when someone comments on YouTube, and so make sure to comment on that. Or if you're on the website, we have a membership website as well where this video is located and will not ever be deleted. Then there's places to comment on there as well. And if there's any other songs too that you want me to do, make sure to let me know, because if I get like 5 or 10 requests on one song, I'll do that song first. So if there's a song you want me to do, be sure to request it. Email me, comment on my website, primarychoristers.com, or on YouTube. Thanks so much. Thanks for watching that video. Click here to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and here's a related video. Then this button over here, click it to find out more about primarychoristers.com. It's a Primary Chorister membership website. Make sure to check it out. It's awesome. We're really excited about it.